so for this class you're going to need 2 balls, like myofascial release balls or tennis balls will do, and we're going to actually start off on our back, and we're going to start off by releasing some tension through the muscles of the back. So if you want to start off down one end of your mat, because we're then going to shimmy up towards the other end of the mat, so bring yourself down towards the bottom of your mat, and you're just going to place your balls behind your, at the very top of your back, either side of the spine, kind of where the shoulders are. And then you're just going to melt over those balls and just start doing your lateral breathing. And you can bring your hands around the ribs to really connect in with the breath. So it's that nice, big, expansive inhale, expansive but soft, and then that soft, lengthened exhale. So we're bringing ourselves into our parasympathetic nervous system. And we're just going to do 5 breaths in each position. Really working on your lateral breathing. Jaw nice and soft on that exhale. Lovely. And then you're going to roll up the back, or roll the balls down the back, but start rolling up towards the top end of your mat. And again, we're going to do lateral breaths in this position. So you're going to go for 5. Keep your jaw nice and soft. Belly nice and relaxed. And when you've done your 5, you're going to roll the balls down a little bit lower, staying either side of the spine with the balls. My balls are going all over the place. Nice. And then another 5 breaths here. Nice big expansive inhales and nice soft exhales. Lovely. And then you're rolling the balls down a little bit further, making sure that they're either side of your spine, so not on the spine at all. And another 5 breaths. So a nice lateral breathing warm up to release any tension with the balls there. We're getting more release for that posterior chain. Nice, and then move the balls down again. So we're coming down into the lower back now. And another 5 breaths. Lovely. Then bringing the balls right down onto the lower back, just before the sacrum. And another 5 breaths there. Really letting the body melt over the balls, noticing if you're holding anywhere. Nice, and then take the balls to the top of the glutes, either side of the glutes, and then we're just going to roll from side to side. So wriggling the pelvis, shifting the pelvis from side to side. So getting a nice massage into the glutes with the balls. Lovely. Keep breathing with this. Nice. And then remove the balls. We're just going to hug the knees in towards the chest. Bring the knees nice and wide. And just take 3 breaths here. So we're lengthening the pelvic floor muscles, opening the sit bones. Lovely. Nice. And then let's pop the knees down on the floor. Bring the hands around the ribs. We'll just do 3 breaths on our apnea here with just the feet on the floor, hands around the ribs. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pausing here, slowly open the ribs. Lovely, holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in when you're ready. Nice. Now bring the hands down by your sides in like this low V position, palms are facing down. We're going to drop our legs over to one side on an inhale, and then bring them back to centre on the exhale. Then we're going to go to the other side with the legs, and then back to centre. So we're getting a nice rotation of the spine. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, drop the legs over to the right. Exhaling slowly through the mouth as they come back to centre. Inhaling, dropping the legs over to the left. Exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth, legs come back to centre. Inhale to the right. Exhaling slowly through the mouth, bringing the knees back to centre. We're going to hold the breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs here. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in when you're ready. Nice. Bringing the arms to a T position now. We're going to go to the left side first this time. So we're going to inhale, legs drop to the left side. Exhaling slowly through the mouth, bringing them back to centre. Inhale to the right side. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth, they come back to centre. Inhale to the left. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. We stop in the centre. You're going to hold your breath out. Pause, slowly open the ribs. Lovely. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Lovely. We're going to roll over onto our front. You're going to bring the hands into your Sphinx arms. You're going to push the tops of the feet down into the floor. Push the pubic bone into the floor. You're going to lift your chest and your gaze and draw your hands towards your body, like drawing your heart through the hands almost. It's like this thinking about drawing the heart through the hands. Really nice. We're getting that opening up of the front body and a lengthening through the back. Nice. And then place the forehead down on the floor, place the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, and then you're going to push yourself up into all fours. We're going to keep the hands facing forwards and we're going to work through a cat-cow. We're going to reset our spine back in the centre for our apnea. So we're going to start by inhaling and lifting the tailbone, sinking the belly and lifting the chest and the head. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, tailbone lifts, belly sinks, lift the chest, lift the head. Exhale slowly through the mouth as you round through the spine. Inhaling, coming back into that cow pose. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth, coming into cat. Inhale, coming into cow. Exhale, back to centre. We're going to hold our breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs here. Holding it here for as long as you can. Keep those elbows slightly soft. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. Make sure the hands are still underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. You're going to drop your elbows down to where your hands were. And we're going to do our Maya position, but on our inhale, we're going to reach the arm up towards the ceiling, coming into a bit of a rotation of the spine. On the exhale, we come back down. And then we come back down into our Maya for our apnea. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale slowly through the mouth, bring it back down. We'll go right side. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth, bringing it back down. Inhale, left side. Exhaling slowly through the mouth, coming back to centre. You're going to hold your breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs. Make sure your gaze is back towards the thighs. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We're going to go on the right side this time. So we're going to inhale, reach the right hand up. And exhaling slowly through the mouth, bringing it down. Inhale, reaching up. And exhaling slowly through the mouth, bringing it down. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhaling slowly through the mouth, coming back to centre. You're going to hold your breath out, pause, slowly open the ribs. So we're getting some nice movement through the ribs as we're doing these movements. So it might help with the apnea because we're lengthening those muscles more. Lovely. Breathing in when you're ready. You're going to come back into our Gaia position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, fingers facing towards each other this time. We're going to do our 3 breaths in our apnea. On our apnea, we're going to reach the ears away from the shoulders, lengthen the neck, and then bring the chin towards the chest, keeping space for that plum. So coming into cervical flexion. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale, ribs expanding. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pausing here, slowly open the ribs. Reach the ears away from your shoulders. Bring the chin towards the chest, keeping space for a plum. Hold it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Head comes back to centre. Nice. We're going to come up into our Callisto position this time. So pushing up, lifting the hips up. The weight of the shoulders stays over the hands. So we're going to do 2 breaths in Gaia and then come up into Callisto. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhale into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. You're going to hold the breath out, pause, slowly open your ribs, Lift the hips up, keep the weight over the hands. Hold it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice, we're going to stay in this position. So just readjust your posture if needed. And we're going to do 3 breaths and an apnea here. So inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pause here, slowly open the ribs. Lovely. And then lift the toes up and feel the arches lifted and the muscles in the legs engage during your apnea. Really nice. Breathing in when you're ready. Turn your hands to face forwards. Bend your knees as much as you need to. We're going to walk the hands back into a forward fold. Nice. We're just going to take a bit of spinal rotation here. So you're going to plant your left hand down in between the feet, just in front of the feet. And we're going to raise the right arm up towards the sky. And then we're going to switch hands. Lovely. Breathing here. So inhale to reach up and then exhale to switch hands. Nice. Let's do one more here. Back to center. You're going to take an inhale at the bottom. On the exhale, you're going to lift all the way up into standing. Lovely. Great. We're going to come into our Athena position, and we're going to do Athena with that flexion of the neck again. So you're going to have hands in first position. Feet are hip distance apart, knees are soft, pelvis neutral, ribs are stacked over the pelvis, shoulders on top, head on top of that. When you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhale into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pausing here, slowly open those ribs. Reach the ears away from the shoulders. Draw the chin towards the chest, keeping space for that plum. Nice, holding it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. This time we're going to lift the arms up into our third arm position. And we're going to do that flexion of the cervical, but also start bringing in that curling above the bra strap. And then we're going to bring in that full curl as the hands come down and place above the knees in our hera position. So starting with the arms up, soften through the belly, balance point forwards. You're going to inhale into the ribs and exhale slowly through the mouth. Inhale into the ribs and exhaling softly and slowly. Inhaling all the way around the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Pause, slowly open the ribs, reach the ears away from the shoulders, bring the chin towards the chest, curl above the bra strap, and then curl the whole back. Bring the hands above the knees, hold your apnea, look at your belly button, keep your ears away from your shoulders, and then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. So we're in our hera position now. So this full curl, balance point is forwards. We're going to do 3 breaths and an apnea. When you're ready, you're going to inhale into the ribs and exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling all the way around the ribs And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale, ribs expanding. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pausing here, slowly open those ribs. Hold it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. We're going to inhale in this position. Exhale, reach the hands 2 feet forwards. Look at the legs. Inhale here. On the exhale, step 1 foot back and then the other foot. We're going to inhale here. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Keep the weight over the shoulders. You're going to hold your breath out. Pause, soften the belly, and then open the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can. Breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We're going to inhale here. On the exhale, you're going to drop the knees down behind the hands. We're going to inhale here, look at your thighs. Exhale, we're going to lift the hands and the chest and the head up. We're going to inhale here. Exhale slowly through the mouth, opening up through the hip flexors. Hold the breath out, pause, balance point forward slightly, open the ribs. We're in our aura position. Really nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to do 3 breaths apnea and come into that cervical flexion again with the neck. So balance point slightly forward, we're opening up through the hip flexors, tailbone is down. When you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pause. Slowly open the ribs. Reach the ears away from the shoulders, lengthen the neck, bring the chin towards the chest. Hold it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Lovely. We're going to sit back onto the heels for a minute. Reach the hands out in front of you. We're just going to come into like a puppy pose. So we're keeping the sit bones lifted, the sit bones are spreading, and you're just going to take 3 lateral breaths here. Sticking with that lateral breathing. Really nice. And then you're going to walk your elbows in underneath your shoulders, coming back into your Maya position. And we're going to do Maya with neck flexion. So when you're ready, just soften the belly before you begin. When you're ready, you're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling all the way around the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. You're pausing here, opening your ribs, ears away from the shoulders, lengthen through the neck, and then bring the chin towards the chest. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Holding it here. And breathing in whenever you're ready. Really nice. And across the feet over at the back, you're going to sit the bottom down onto the heels, stretch the arms out in front of you. And then you're going to bring the hands either side of the knees, and you're going to push yourself over into a seated position. Nice, just setting up in our Hestia position. So feet are dorsiflexed, sitting up on those sit bones, stacked through the spine. We're going to bring our hands into our first arm position, and then we're going to bring our right hand into third. So we're going to do our 3 breaths in our apnea. On our apnea, we're going to rotate round to the left-hand side. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly. Inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Soften the belly and then slowly open the ribs. And just rotate from the bottom, middle and the top of the spine, taking the gaze over that shoulder. Hold it here. Breathing in whenever you're ready, coming back to center. And then we're going to switch the arms over. Right in first, left in third. We're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhaling softly and slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhale, ribs expand. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Pause, slowly open those ribs. Rotating round to the right from the bottom, middle and top. Head comes round to look over the shoulder last. Hold it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Coming back to center. Really nice. Going to come down through the side. Coming onto our back. You're going to bring your knees in towards your armpits. Coming into happy baby, holding on to either the front of the shins, the back of the thighs or the soles of the feet, but really making sure that you lengthen through the spine, uncurl that tailbone down towards the floor. And you're taking 5 nice lateral breaths, but really thinking about breathing into the back of the ribs for these. And just feel the pelvic floor respond as you do that. Lovely. And when you're done, you're going to roll over onto your side, guide yourself up to sitting. And that is our practice complete.